Greetings, G-Humans, G-Aliens, and supporters. This is Arif Shalom for another edition of Real Talk Q&A, episode 2. And we're going to pick right back up with some of the questions. I'm going to answer some more that I have in. Be sure and pick up, before we get started, be sure and pick up the single, my current single, Bottom to the Top, Level 19, available in all digital stores now. Be on the lookout for the next single, Fear, Love, Obey God, Level 21, featuring Angela Blair and Orbit. It's coming soon, sometime next year in 2014. And let's jump right back into it. I totally enjoyed it last time. Like, it was amazing answering these questions and really just getting to speak my mind. So let's get it going. All right. The next question is, do you think the justice system made the right call in Zimmerman's self-defense trial? Why do you think a fuss was made about Trayvon when black on black murder has been happening and no one cares? That's kind of like 2 in 1, I guess. Well, I'll answer the first one. Do you think the justice system made the right call in Zimmerman's self-defense trial? No, of course not. I think to any normal person that's not affected by whatever system or agenda or whatever is going on with it, I honestly expected him to get life, thrown under the jail, executed. Like, I expected him to get the maximum, either time or death penalty that the law allows for the way that he murdered that little boy. And he got away totally free. In all honesty, I've seen him have a harder time in court battling speeding tickets than he did with getting off with killing Trayvon Martin. I think they totally made the wrong call. Goodness, my prayers has went out to their family, to his mother, many times, because I can't imagine losing my kid like that. I can't imagine that. I mean, and I literally would have killed him. He couldn't have just killed my kid like that. And I'm not saying that for me to be like, that's what she should have done, his mother, or that's what they should have done. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that, and if somebody would, I've shot at people for way less than killing my kid, and I know me. I would have killed him for that. I would have gotten away with it. I would have prayed for favor, just like he got off for killing my kid. I would get off for killing him, especially if he called himself. I agree with that biblical law where they was like, hey, you got to watch out for that next of kin avenger. You need to go to a safe town if you murder somebody's family or where their loved one, because if you call yourself walking around the town and the next of kin avenger kills you, like, in a land that was a lot more biblically led than this one, that was something that was just simply understood. Like, bro, you can't kill somebody's loved one and then still call yourself hanging around. Now, they said if you went to the town, like to the town of refuge, and you went there looking for him and you got him, then they was kind of like, okay, you tripping. But, man, like, I would have literally killed him if he'd have killed my kid. And I know it won't bring my kid back, and I know that it wouldn't ease the pain of that you would feel for losing your child. But I'd kill him for that. I wouldn't sleep good at night knowing the man that literally murdered my child after the 911 operators told him, the guy who murdered my kid, to leave my kid alone because my kid isn't breaking any laws, and he get out the car with his firearm and he killed my kid anyway. You wouldn't walk the earth if that was my kid. I really don't care what somebody thinks or feels about that. I'd kill him if it. I would. In my heart, I can't imagine the Martin family's pain. I can't imagine it. I don't even try to pretend that I do know what they're going through. I don't know what that feels like to have that kind of hurt brought on simply because another human being couldn't love his neighbor because the way he loves himself. I would have put that devil in the ground. Why do you think a fuss was made about Trayvon when black on black murder has been happening and no one cares? I really fail to see how. Okay, when I think of black on black murder, I think of people dying over drugs, gang related things, money, an agenda, a girl, or, something. Not to say that those things are worth murdering somebody over, but it happens, and it's the world we live in. It's war. It's war on a small scale. Countries war over territory and property. Individual humans can war over money, women, whatever they cherish. That's war. I just fail to honestly see how people at war, whether it's on a government scale or an individual human scale, compares to a kid going to a gas station or a convenience store just to get a little snack, and he's simply walking home, and I don't even know what to call him anymore. I don't even know what to call Zimmerman anymore. But someone like him sees your kid and gets paranoid, even though your kid is doing absolutely nothing nor has any weapons at all, gets out the car and murders your kid. After 911 tell him not to engage and leave this kid alone. I fail to really honestly see how that connects with black on black crime. Yes, the Trayvon Martin story needed to be in the mainstream media. We needed to know about it, and we needed to see the judicial system work. And we needed to see this corruption. This stuff it needed to be exposed and shown to the public. Now, I could go with the argument that other cases that have been similar to this that have not been shown, why wasn't they aired and why was this one highlighted? I could understand that question a little bit more. But to tie that into black on black crime, like, they just don't have anything to do. One doesn't have anything to do with the other to me. The next question that I have in. And that Trayvon, I really kind of need to calm down in my spirit, because that Trayvon Martin situation, it runs me hot. We out there killing people's kids, man. Goodness. Okay, next question. Do you feel abortions are murder? Yes. I feel abortions are murder. I think about Jeremiah, the first chapter, the very first chapter in Jeremiah, where the Lord describes how before Jeremiah was formed in the womb, that he knew him. That's, because the Lord made him in spirit first and then put him in the womb. So when the Lord made him in spirit, obviously he had a relationship with Jeremiah before he even hit the womb. A relationship that honestly even Jeremiah really don't even remember in the spirit like that. and the Lord knew him. If the Lord know, it ain't no if. With the Lord knowing you in your spirit before you hit the womb, and then the mother, for whatever the situation is, whatever's going on, however, whether it was consensual that she got pregnant, whether it was she got raped and then the rapist got her pregnant, like whatever the situation is with getting pregnant, you choose to have an abortion, or whether you feel you don't ready. You know, a lot of things, and it's a lot of reasoning that goes behind having abortions from people. If you do that, yes, you have murdered someone. And honestly, not only did you even murder a stranger, but you murdered your own flesh and blood. I do think that abortions are murder. But in our honesty, I also believe when the Lord says that we have before us blessings and curses, life or death, I pray you choose life. When the Lord gave Adam and Eve the instruction not to eat of the forbidden tree, but he didn't surround the forbidden tree with angels that would keep them away if they tried. He gave them a choice. You know, your kids, they're your responsibility. And for whatever reason, whatever fear, because Satan, he doesn't really attack through things that have already happened or that are currently happening. He really loves to really put his most deception over the future, the things that hasn't happened yet. You know, a lot of people be feeling like they won't be able to live and handle a kid and they don't know how they gonna do it. I just need to get an abortion. You murdered your kid. Honestly, we may have had more Martin Luther Kings and Harriet Tubmans and Rosa Parks and I don't know, Malcolm X's and anybody. Like, we may have had a lot more world leaders. Not world leaders like that, like the government stuff, but like really powerful, impactful human beings. We may have had a whole lot more than what we honestly have had, but they were aborted. You know, when I think about how in scripture it talks about how the Lord's prophets were persecuted and stuff like that, I honestly think abortion is a part of that persecution. I honestly feel a lot of prophets are close, that were meant to do great things here, were simply aborted by a mother with fears planted in them by the devil, or a family who agreed and thought this would be the best course of action. In all honesty, I was almost aborted. My mom told me. She told me that when she got pregnant with me, she didn't want no baby. My mom told me she was on birth control. She was doing what it took in the natural to not get pregnant while having sex. She was on birth control. And when she got pregnant, anyway, she really thought about, she was going to abort me because she did not totally want a baby. She did not want to raise any kids. She just didn't want kids. And I understand. I understand where she's coming from, and it was her choice, and she almost did. But my grandmother told her they wouldn't let her do that. And then my mother was like, she was going, let me take that back, because that's not correct. That's not correct. She said she realized she didn't want to kill, she didn't want to kill me. And she made up in her mind that she was going to give me up for adoption. And that's when my grandmother stepped in and said, "You're not going to give him up. If you give him up, I'll go get him." And she said she thought about, well, that would kind of defeat the purpose of giving him up. So she was like, I wouldn't want to be living, and heck, I gave him up, but my mama went and got him. And then he's growing up and he's raised with her, and he's coming around, and I'm coming around, and he know I'm his mom, and then he find out I really gave him up and I didn't want him, and this, that. She's like, I didn't want to live like that. So she chose to keep me, give birth to me, and raise me. But I was honestly close to being aborted. And imagine if I was aborted. If she just would have simply chose to abort me, everything that I'm doing right now would not exist. Real Talk Q&A wouldn't exist. Bottom to the Top wouldn't exist. Man of God wouldn't exist. Fear, Love, Obey God Level 21 wouldn't exist. All the performances and times that I've talked to people about the Lord, all the people who have told me they found inspiration in their personal walk with the Lord through seeing minds wouldn't exist. Yeah, abortions are murder. But humans have a choice. We all have choices. And it's up to you to do what you feel is right. It's your life. But do I think they're murder? Yes. Abortions are murder. Alright, let's see. Get to the next one. How would you feel being the first billionaire Christian artist? I actually kind of need a question like that, because the two previous ones kind of had me at a combative, angry spirit kind of feel. It's like, man, I really feel passionate about those two subjects. So it's like, a question like this is great. First of all, I would never be a billionaire Christian artist. It's no way I could ever hoard $1 billion unless it takes $1 billion, unless we get to this point where it takes $1 billion to have a normal life. But as of where we're at right now, if you have $1 billion, if you're a billionaire, you have more money than what you and your family need in a lifetime. My financial goals is to have enough money to support my family for a lifetime, and to leave an inheritance to my son that will enable him to stand boldly in what God wants him to do, and to also leave inheritances for his family for a lifetime. Like, I just want to be able to leave an inheritance and provide for my family while I'm here, and provide for them should I be the first one to die amongst my family. I want them to be financially well, to be able to live their lives and do the things that God wants them to do in absolute freedom. Once I have that much money, I mean, what else do you need? I mean, why would I sit up and hoard all that other money? I would honestly throw that money out in the street. It's no way that I would ever be a billionaire. I'd be out in the street just giving money to people just to not be a billionaire. I'd do some of anything. No way I'd be a billionaire. Once my financial goals are met, I honestly have no purpose for money. So to sit there and just hoard billions and billions and billions and millions, and I'm already over and beyond taken care of, and I'm just making more billions and billions and millions. Like, it's no way that I'm gonna sit there and have some bank account that's worth over $1 billion or something ridiculous like that. Because while I'm sitting there hoarding that money, there's people in the world that need that money. And I love my neighbor like I love myself. I'm really working towards that every day. So it's no way people that I would have that much money just be sitting on that kind of money. That's ridiculous. That's just greedy and selfish. Very greedy. Let me see. I think I have time for one more. I think we got time for a couple more. Okay, the next one. How would you... Okay, I just read that one. What do you think about artists such as Beyonce, who have given themselves to the Illuminati for success in the music industry? Goodness. I used to be into that stuff. I really did. I used to be into that stuff heavy. Like, man, you watch preachers preaching all these videos about how Beyonce is the devil, or Jay-Z, or anybody really, like Kanye West, like, you know, really just demonizing these figures. And of course, I mean, they play their songs and you listen to their lyrics, and hey, a lot of times with the things they say, they don't really help the cause either, or the assumption. But, you know, it's gossip. It's all gossip. Proverbs 18 verse 8, a slanderer's words are tasty morsels. They slide right down to the belly. Like, you love to hear gossip, and that's why I used to be like, you love that stuff. Is interesting to hear rumors and things like that about people. Like, it's captivating. And that's something you have to stay. I chose to stay away from it. You know, because honestly, a lot of these people and preachers who say that Beyonce is the Illuminati or something like that, they don't know Beyonce. They couldn't get close enough to Beyonce to lick her spit that she spat on the ground. Like, they're literally nowhere near Beyonce, have never met Beyonce, know absolutely nothing about Beyonce or her family members or they don't know nobody. Maybe I could take some of that stuff a little more seriously, listening if it came from, say, her dad or her mom, or maybe Solange or one of her sisters or something got on there. Daddy raised us to be in the church. Daddy raised us to love God. And now Beyonce, she's with Jay, and she's doing rituals, and she doesn't acknowledge the Most High God anymore. Like, I'd listen to it then. I'd be like, well, dang, that's like her mom or something, like saying that, and she's weeping for her daughter. I'd be like, hey, this is serious. But to hear some preacher who honestly should be telling you how to get into the kingdom of heaven rather than breaking down a Beyonce song in service, it's like I pass on that. I don't really get into it. I don't find it a constructive use of my time. I mean, if she sings about flesh things or worldly things or money or sex or an abuse of loving a person more than what you probably should, having feelings for a human that you probably should be having for the Most High God. Like, if she does that, like, can you honestly act like you don't know people like that exist in the world? And even if she does worship the devil, so what? That's her business. It's like the more that I started worrying about me worshiping the Lord, I guess the less I started caring about other people worshiping whoever they worship. Like, that's not my business. You choosing to do what you want to do, just like I'm choosing to do what I want to do. That stuff don't affect me. I listen to her songs or listen to any of it. Someone like to say it possesses you. It does this, it does that. I wish that people, God-fearing people, would quit giving the enemy more power over them, over God. If you love the Most High God, if you love the Most High God with all of your heart, soul, strength, and understanding, and you loving your neighbor as you love yourself, and you actually are striving to serve the Most High God, ain't no song gonna have no power over you and make you do anything. I don't care how much you listen to it. And I know that because I listen to all kinds of people's music. I listen to everything. Anybody talking to me, they jam. Because I get a lot of people who jam me. I get devil worshipers who jam my song, and they've hit me up and said, man, that bottom to the top sounds good. Check me out. And I check them out. And I hear what they're doing. And maybe I don't agree with what they're talking about spiritually. But I can honestly sit here and say that I know that other people who agree with what they're talking about spiritually and in the flesh can like this music. Like, man, your rock sounds good. And it does. It's well played. It's well performed. it sounds good. Maybe you won't be winning over just people who love the God like me, but you'll most definitely be winning over people who love Satan and people who love that rebellious message. I can give you that respect. And it's sad that somebody like that, they would honestly acknowledge your music as being good, even though it's opposite to what they believe. We gotta quit letting these non-believers and devil worshippers have more compassion than what a believer has. Someone who's supposed to be loving their neighbor like they love themselves. Like this, it just gotta stop. This gotta stop. Let me see where I'm at on time. See if we got time for one more. No, we probably don't have time for one more question. Tune in for the next episode. We're gonna pick right back up where I left off. I'm really gonna try to get through these questions. Like I said, I love that I'm able to do this on Spreaker because I really can speak my mind versus how I was gonna do it on a video, because I would have really had to rush a lot of answers. And it's like I really get to just talk to y'all and just really say how I feel. This is amazing. If you would like to get any merchandise that I have and support the ministry, please email me at GodAndiRecords@gmail.com. Send me an email. Talk to me about what it is you're trying to do or trying to get. I love to hear from you. Also send post comments, like debate this stuff. Like, I know it's no way that I can put my opinions out like how I'm doing right now and everybody just like agrees, like, yeah, you're right. Like, I know somebody got something to say. So, if you're listening, please comment on the post, comment on the thread, interact. Share the channel. Let other people know about this and what's going on. And also, if you have questions that you would like to hear me answer, please send them to GodAndiRecords@gmail.com. Alright. Thank you for listening. This has been a Real Talk Q&A episode 2. May the Lord strengthen his relationship with us all. Thank you. Shalom.